Hello there. Hello everyone. Welcome to another video. This is one of the ones that I've fished out of Kick's horde of replays. So in this one we got Ice Lake, which is the map just full of ice, and as we can already see there are tons and tons and tons and tons of nerfs and a couple of rancors. Mainly just lots of nerfs, tons, even in the corner. So you can see how they sort of spawn when this event happens. And everyone's just, there's even fruit bushes and dewbacks, and everyone's going to have all the food in the world. Like, look at that. They don't really spawn evenly either. Like, if you, in the event you're red and you just send your scout out this way, oh look, you just got like 20 nerfs. And I think like every 4 nerfs is like the equivalent of like 1 worker on food, so yeah, like the game advances pretty quickly in these scenarios. And it's definitely a good crux for players who are not too great with macro, because they only really need to have a carbon income half the time, and they can get a lot of stuff done, get a lot of units out, play a bit better. So as we can see, people have got more nerfs than they can afford to put in nurseries, yada yada. So I won't even need to speed this up too much, because people will hit 500 food on like 16, 18 workers or something like that. Just a lot quicker than most of the other food types. So, in this game, we've got Replete, we got Kick, and we got, Unholy over here, sorry. So these 3, taking on Rob, Balam, the mighty Balam, and Mr. Dam himself, Luckyashman. So that'd be a very good map for people to go early Mounties, because the rush distance is not too high. There's not really anything that stops you cross-mapping to a pocket as well. Like, you could just rally directly to the pocket. However, though Mounties are easier, people get up to the techs quicker as well because of the food. Plus, that's unharassable food, right? So, if your food income was reliant on you hunting or on the berries or something and you got a few Mounties there, that's a huge disruption, because it's going to kill a worker every few seconds, and you probably have to like run your workers away or melee it down or whatever. But people are going to be T2 quicker, they can build turrets to defend quicker, they can get to T3 even quicker and get strike mechs and air out. So the window's a bit shorter, but it is easier to do, and you can get a lot more Mounties than you usually would. So there's pros and cons to it. I don't know why you would ever do this, Replete. It just doesn't make sense. Replete's got tons of nerfs. Who's got the most? Is there anyone on the elusive fat 4 nurseries? Not quite. Like maybe an average of like 2.5. Maybe actually 3. Everyone's getting a bit. 3 nurseries, yeah. I mean, look at that rush distance. Got lucky going for the troop center. Still think you could probably do this about 2 minutes earlier. I would have thought. If you forgo this, you might go for T2 rush though. We'll see. If you don't build this, I think you can do this like 3 minutes earlier and just rally Mounties. Keep going for a wall off. For whatever good it'll do them. Like, it's not a long way to walk round. It's a lot of carbon. It's like 250 carbon or something. Oh, it's 10. Big gas. He's trying to lure dewback, getting chased by a rancor, bad times. Replete pocket says he's gonna rush, cool. Probably one of the few maps that it would be okay. Gotta be Mounties, I think, if I'm being on Nova. Double TC and on Nova, gotta be Mounties. Can really catch someone off guard if the pocket rushes the other pocket. A lot more so than the wings. There's not really much. Oh, he's got the 4 nurseries. Big. Oh, this is Unholy. Or Rob, sorry. Where's Unholy? In green. 2 nursery poverty over here. Turret, troop center. 2 troop centers with no power core. Bit late from Rob. This. Where is pocket? Got your Mounties just sitting here as well. Should at least be rallying them across. The amount of damage that could have been done already just by 2 or 3 Mounties being here. Power core probably dead. Workers stop mining. Fucking hell. It's like 2 minutes of just not attacking, doing damage, etc. Probably managed to get his tech buildings down and start going T3 before he even arrives, which means it's an easier hold. The other thing to account for is not hitting earlier with these is the cumulative resources he's going to get over time. he's actually going to wall. It's the slowest wall of all time as well. But because he doesn't rally, he's going to get it up. Only saving grace here is he's only got 1 tech building. Maybe too many workers on food. So we got Lucky coming in here to do some damage to Kick, who I imagine is trying to T3. He did spend 250 on a wall that hasn't served him any though. So only 1 tech building down. Building another prefab. Can't be that necessarily going to wall this as well. So many workers going down. I think you feel these workers more in a game like this because you've got... It's like you've advanced so much quicker, you've got so many less workers. It's a bigger impact losing them. Not too much happening on this side. Got some troops from Rob here walking to their deaths. Straight into the turret setup. Unholy's got down. So he's starting to look to transition to T3. Doesn't seem confident to actually do any attacking himself. He's just playing defensive with his troops. Not much of a trooping player. The Mounties did hit through. Killed quite a few workers actually while this was all going on. Almost forgot about these. He is getting in. He is going to get this power core because nobody's repairing it. So he is doing some damage, but Balam did get the buildings down. However, what's he doing? Look at his food and there's no... Why is he not going T3? That's super weird. It's like he's AFK, but he's not. Is he like thought he He's building workers. Huh? I always thought Balam was a robot. Maybe he could only go T3 with a certain amount of workers. There he goes. That's super strange though. He's losing his turret that he can repair. Interesting. Luckyashman coming in here again to do some more damage. Not really much else going on. Unholy not really doing any attacks. Rob running this worker over, I'm not too sure why. Maybe sentry posts or something like that. Keep an eye on his opponent. Kick really taking too much damage to this rush. Luckyashman playing out his skin here, getting that damage done. Looks like he's going to start heading over to T3 soon enough. Start clicking the button there. Kick almost there. So really, Lucky's going to get to T3 just a little bit after Kick, but with a huge worker lead, I would have thought. Provided he did macro properly. Yeah, he's got a 9 worker lead, which is kind of big considering it's such low counts. Unholy 29. 27. A lot of people cutting workers, it would seem. Rob is T3 now though, getting 2 air bases, triple air bases actually. Very sustainable, but the troopers have come in here for Unholy. catching him here, getting as much damage as he can since he's hit T3 before him, I'm assuming. He has hit T3 himself, so he will be able to defend adequately. So this pressure is all just great for him. He's pushing all his workers back, stopping him getting Nova just now to sustain these air bases that he's just built, and that'll give him plenty of scouting information and time to get up defences for that. We've got Lucky, who seems to have constructed a mighty turret over here on his animal nurseries. It's just kind of annoying though, it's not really blocking out any like amazing resources. I guess this ore, maybe a little bit, but there's this ore over here you can take. So it'll eventually get dealt with. Let's force the heavy weapons factory here from Kick. He's maybe going to rally a pummel over. He's got the strike mech sitting here stopping any troopers getting in. Balam has hit himself to T3 now, started building strike mechs and such. Scouting Replete here, who's going double mech factory. Second command center down. Third on the way, he's looking good. A lot of anti-mech units here from Lucky, just sitting in his base. Needs to be getting another command center, expanding out and such. Some strike mechs looking to do some damage here, make things a bit better for Kick in this matchup, as he's been sufficiently behind. Here from Rob, just guarding Balam. And Unholy just creating some sort of army of troops and strike mechs, not really putting the pressure on. Has upgraded his mounties to heavy mounties. Some AA units. Maybe looking to push through, do some damage here to Rob, who's just going to have air. But he is going to have an awful lot of air, which could be enough to defend on its own. That pummel from Kick over here, cleaning up this turret. Luckyashman being annoying, try to repair it. It's never going to happen though. It's actually kind of close, since it's just died a couple of seconds after. I don't think it'd be worth the resource investment though, considering it's not really covering too much. So we've got the air from Rob starting to fly around now and look for angles to do damage. Unholy has built a turret over here. This area is a bit vulnerable on a couple of anti-air troopers on his farms. There's this spot that you can just camp and kill some workers here though in that carbon arc. Lucky still rallying units over here, putting the pressure on the Kick. Rob probably going to be going T4 soon. Spaceport being placed maybe. Just needs a research center. Yeah, he's going to go T4 air. Balam's got some units out and starting to do some damage now. Replete building up strike mechs. But hasn't really done anything aggressive with them. He's just done this sort of mounty rush and then just settled down and started to get further ahead with more worker count. Rob looking to do some damage to him. Lucky being annoying as ever, building these sentry posts everywhere. Well, it seems that push from Unholy's wandered over. Killed some units, but mostly all the supporting units are just getting killed by the air. There wasn't enough anti-air. And strike mechs are just running away now, which I don't think is the right call, since he killed the Mech Destroyer. He definitely wants to be keeping the pressure on these workers, because if you look at how many he's got Nova, all the nurseries and stuff, he's going to go to T4. Complaining that Balam isn't dead because he's got 3 strike mechs in his base. Amazing. It's not a lot, and they're just dying to turrets, so stop whinging. We've got Replete sending over to Lucky now, looking to do some damage. And a lot of strike mechs from Kick here, getting in at a nice angle to harass these workers. It's a really bad spot for the carbon. There's not enough spots for the workers to get the most out of the carbon there. Needs to go over to a new area, like here or here, I think. It's really hard to defend that as well, because if you look at how you have to run all the way around all these structures to go and shoot at something. Can't really reliably stand there. I don't think there's any pressure on Rob now, so he's very free to T4 and get the OP T4 air on the go. Heavy weapons factory for Replete here. He's maybe looking to go T4 strikes. For that building rule. Very annoying from Balam, 4 HP strike mech, just shooting at his workers. Amazing. This worker getting into the front lines, sending the strike mech back. Complete finding angles to harass Luckyashman. who's sort of pushing himself further and further behind just by not making enough workers and command centers. His weaker macro starting to get to him here. Because his aggression's pretty much been soaked up at this point by Kick. Kick's still on one command center though. Invested an awful lot in all these strike mechs. Which will be good if he does do damage with them, but not going to do much just sitting here in the base. So Rob hitting T4 now, looks like he's sending his air that he's got flying around harassing back. Going to conglomerate them all into one pile, upgrade them, and then start doing huge damage to the worker counts of the opposite team. Looks like Replete looking to go T4 himself. Don't know if he's got any turrets to upgrade though, none yet. I think he's on ore. There we go. Recently on ore. Rancor bashing his face in. So they're sending all the strike mechs over to Rob, who's hit T4, who, even with all these nurseries, he's got 4 mech destroyers to defend himself, which is pretty good going. Because what they want to do is take him off Nova, keep the air in the base, defending against the units, give them all time to tech up, get better turrets, get AA mobiles, get enough command centers to hide in, etc. Or they're going to take massive losses. And it's Unholy's fault for making these weird little slow-moving armies and not keeping the pressure on Rob here. Because even when he took that trade with him, he still had the 5 strike mechs off, but he ran them home rather than keeping the pressure on. Rather than pushing him off the Nova. So a good few workers dying, but it's not made a huge impact because all he really needs is food and Nova, and he's got plenty of that coming his way. Balam now with a lot more strike mechs, putting the pressure onto Replete while he's got all his strikes over here. He doesn't really have any mech destroyers. And he seems to be relying on anti-air troopers, which is not going to do him any good against T4 air, nor against these strike mechs. Unholy with this, or Luckyashman with this scouting trooper just sitting there. See these mech destroyers being sent over by Kick to try and help Replete out with these strike mechs. And that's Rob flying across the map now with the air, laying on the pressure. Okay, try to get some turrets up, but he doesn't have any mech destroyers really other than the 2 that he sent away. They do come back to help with this. So Balam can't really take that trade for too long. Be best to run around, try and snipe workers one at a time. Kick not the best person to raid though, because he's only on the 1 command center. He's not got too many workers to actually lose. He's got these 2 turrets over here in this area as well. The air from Rob doing a lot of damage here in Replete's base. That's it now, advanced, shields, and the armor. He hasn't really built any much more fighters, because I feel he could have 2 control groups right now of about 8 or so, and just fly them around and do damage. Because they kind of one-tap everything. You don't need to have a huge control group if you're not contested. It's only when there's other players with air that you want to keep them all together in case they try to take an extended trade with you. Because if they do have superior numbers, they could kill all your air. And then that severely hampers your ability to deal damage with them. So like this would be sufficient. I would send this over to Unholy. Particularly this area, you know, and you could just have 2 control groups, 1 and 2, flying around, dealing damage, keeping players down, helping your team get further and further ahead of them. Kick's absolutely doomed with the air here. He's only got 1 command center, which is 10 miles away. No anti-air. Just dying. Replete doing some pressure here to Balam, but he is just going to keep making tons and tons and tons and tons of strike mechs out of these 2 mech factories. He's got plenty to defend. Intercepting some from Unholy here as well. He's doing great. Kick in a very bad spot. The only thing to worry about here for Rob is what's he going to transition into, because the air isn't enough. Unless he goes bombers. Bombers is definitely a viable solution. Particularly in a game like this where there's not much air contesting you. Bombers is huge because the best counter to them would be fighters, really. So you can come in and kill the anti-air turrets with them. But we'd like to see maybe troopers getting set up, a war centre kicking away, getting upgrades, troop centres being laid down, getting the troops upgraded, and then getting that spam on the go. Going for some spaceports now, so it's looking like they're trying to go into a very longer paced game. The spaceports really scream to me like maybe trying to go and get Jedis to follow this up. Which could be good if we go in, a couple of Jedis, convert turrets and stuff. Really makes it difficult to deal with. You'll need to have a fort, a good amount of bounty hunters, places to hide them because they die really quickly to the flock of air. However, it wouldn't work too well against Replete because he's going to have all these upgraded strike mechs which will shred Jedi. So we've got Kick here doing some damage to Luckyashman as he started to boom backwards. Doesn't seem to have an answer for all these strike mechs, surprisingly. Don't know what the airbase is about really, this Confederacy. Not really too necessary. Got a good few traders, which to be honest quite bold to be cross-mapping across the Ice Lake itself in a game where tons and tons of strike mechs are running around. This looks like a bad investment to me. Be better to get one here and send them safely across. I hope he adapts to that soon and doesn't lose all these. Rob really keeping everyone hostage here in their bases with the air. But the big concern I think would be as time goes on, see Replete's got his turrets upgraded, you can't really do anything to him anymore. And he's going to start throwing these powerful Trade Federation heavy strike mechs around, dealing tons and tons of damage. And they're not a huge investment at this point in the game. But once they've got all the upgrades, they're very good. You see they can trade a little bit with the mech destroyers here. To be honest, probably win that trade if they focus fire one at a time. They're splitting the damage across and the mech destroyers are getting much more hits off than they should. I find Unholy's got tons of units that he's not using as well, which could be giving Rob lots of grief. Because at the moment it's like he doesn't have enough to defend against the strikes. He's only got one mech factory. It's only making... like, they don't have the best upgrades. They've got like a couple of the first upgrades, but can't really compete with the likes of what Replete has and what Unholy should have on his strike mechs as well. Where did I hear pummel? What? Huh. Lucky really is annoying. I don't know how he's managed this. Definitely stop Kick raiding him though. I'm not sure you can afford to trade 550 ore every 5 minutes though. You hear a Geo as well somewhere. It's so annoying. The forward fort where the Geos rally to his Nova and such. Little cross map push here from Replete with his mech destroyers. Doing some damage, but we will have Balam running around now. He smells blood. Coming over here, killing a lot of Kick's workers. Very harassy game. Nobody really forming a late game composition as such. Just tons and tons of harassment, workers getting killed. And most people's workers are actually protected because they're these little guys in the nurseries. That's the cargo hovercraft spam really getting going now for Rob. Once that Nova income comes good, he should be able to do some wonderful things, hopefully. Air cruisers or Jedis, or tons of grenadiers, lots of troops. That's what we'd like to see out of Republic. So what's Luckyashman up to now? Stealing some Nova with this forward command center. The rallied mech destroyer with no range upgrade. I like it. Bold, confident. And Holy just forever stuck in this corner. Garrisoned in a lot of his command centers, particularly the ones that are not even being harassed right now. Really shutting his own eco down. It's like he's performing his own lockdown. Balam's still running around, slowly booming. Very aggressive though. I think he definitely could have taken 5 minutes to himself and just fully boomed and he'd be in a great spot. But you just can't resist building strike mechs and running them around all the day. And Rob is so late to transition into something else. He's not done much with his eco either. This is like a real nerf scumbag republic economy. If you don't know, they get an extra upgrade to the nerfs to make them give more food, I assume. Not a huge worker count. He's got 4 command centers, but not too many workers. Could definitely be a few more, especially grabbing up these like vital ore piles and nova piles. Unholy with the Cal chatter doubled. I mean, you could make it's like 48 minutes. It's like 7 strike max. And some air that's been flying around for 20 minutes. You can deal with it. Trade Empire beginning. Definitely the edge they're going to have over the other team here. Replete with another army flying out. Some anti-air mobiles flying over, well, gliding over gracefully here. Gonna send these guys backwards, I'm assuming. Rancor on the red team. A little forward here. I like the little turret he's got here. If that army links up, that could be good. That'll protect them from anything Rob's got, because he's yet to transition into another unit composition. That's what I've always said about people going air too long. Is there are ways to beat it, and it can be very vulnerable. You can't just make an air compositional game like this. Unless you've got tons of bombers. This army not linking up the turret though, which is stupid. And just, it's like you've got a plan that you're not even going to follow. You should just sit there, get a shield down, and keep the pressure on. He's now walking back. I'm guessing it's like a misclick. But look at all the damage he's taking. And they're still moving at the fucking speed of these anti-air troopers as well, which is pissing me off. Stop it. A lot of Might Destroyers here from Balam, just keeping things cool. They're getting that trade online. Unholy finally turned his economy back on. Held hostage by 1 fighter. So helpless. This army, what is it doing? What's the point of this? Jedi temples are coming down, so it will be like a Jedi fighter composition, I'm guessing here. He's really getting so many more kills than he should by this stupid decision to throw the army away. He's so good. Imagine the pressure it's here. It's covering 2 Nova piles. Threat of pushing into the base and his infrastructure and his nurseries. You could just crawl with turrets and cannons and just guarantee their survival with the mechs. Balam would feel forced to get involved. It'd be great for their team. Very great. Luckyashman looking quite... I wonder... I need to know what's in it. It's got to be workers, right? No, he's got troopers. What a role player. These 2 troopers just garrisoned in the mech destroyers. Laying the smackdown on kick here. A great many bullyings being issued. So Balam finally hitting T4 now. He's been in no rush since there's not been a million fighters in his base. Replete building his military infrastructure over here with no units there. Tons of units here that could be over here. Protecting these workers. More fighters from Rob flying over. Oh, he has got the bombers now. Unholy, extremely vulnerable to this, will die. Still on anti-air turrets. Is he even T4? He is T4. Deary me. No research center. Oh, there it is. Please tell me you're getting better turrets. Homing sensors first. Interesting. At least it's an air upgrade. Rob not microing too well with his bombers. Definitely got a lot going on his side of the map though. I think those bombers would have been better to just get rid of this problem, this big threat. There's so many, you could definitely just murder the turret and murder the fort. Fighters kill the cannon and the units. Kick, still making strike mechs. It's almost like he's completely ignoring Luckyashman's existence. Just treats him as some event that happens now and again, comes and raids his workers. like a small settlement that has to deal with Vikings now and again. And of course the great, look at the hill, the fort is on the hill. Geo being rallied from it, ruining Kick's life, amazing. Balam now facing up against this fort, dealing with that while Rob kills off Unholy. Slowly, much slower than he could be killing him. Replete sending units to come and help, but they're kind of just sitting there, not helping too much. These guys getting way too bold against these heavy mech destroyers. Big casualties here. No cannon anymore either. I don't know why these strike mechs are here. They don't need to be here, they should be over with this army. They could be tanking so many shots from these mech destroyers, helping them win that war. It's incredibly even in the sense it's like 3 mech factory with 3 mech factory. Though I do imagine Balam's using these ones as well just to help out. It's having to send mech destroyers over here to deal with Unholy and Kick, who are raiding Luckyashman. Maybe threatening the trade. Looks like Unholy's somewhat survived this. He's still got quite a lot of workers, should be okay. Those anti-air mobiles from Replete really helping out. And yet to see any of these Jedis that were foreshadowed about 20 minutes ago. You're just getting Jedi mind trick now. He's not been mining these piles, which is, I'm assuming, has really hurt him. It's like he was almost set up to rely on trade so early, but there's so much Nova he could be eating. And he didn't have any holocrons either. They're all just sitting here around the lake. Where's the 5th one? I can't find it. Nah. Guarded by the Rancor. So Luckyashman with his fort now. Set up shield generator, some cannons, a lot of mech destroyers. Pushing all of Kick's nerfs out the nursery. Huge damage. Kick getting smashed here. Great cannon here from Rob. The angle it's got on this shield generator. But not much to defend it from these mech destroyers pushing forward. But a lot of pressure for Replete to soak up here from 2 angles. Still a lot of bombers out there. Could come over. Air cruiser now. Bull. There's still fighters. Fighters could definitely, with 1 turret, the fighters could fly in and kill it. I'm not sure where it's being rallied off to. Over here. Kind of vulnerable. Some Mounties getting in here, which is huge for Replete. Since Balam didn't have any strike mechs anymore. It's had to make a few. The shield really helps out though against a low counter Mounties. And if these bombers come forward, kill the anti-air turret, this army is just not going to be long for it. Great timing as well because Replete's definitely getting the upper hand here. Worst way to use this, not killing the turret. It's just going to sit and kill the bombers really quickly. You can hear a Geo. The 1 hour, 4 minute Geo. Killing Kick's workers. Beautiful. Balam maintaining his shield here with the help of the fighters to kill the Mounties. Unholy really not doing anything. Is he even raiding? He's just not doing anything. Also, like, imagine if his army's here. Like, if he just rallies here and helps Replete out. They overwhelm this. Now there's Mounties being built by Balam. This Trade Federation mirror. Bombers are sneaking around. Where's the Jedis? Is he confident that he's got every Jedi upgrade now that you can build them? Frontline players. Kick saying he's dead. Balam just showing up with those mech destroyers, I think, that he sent off to defend against the strike mechs. So with them intervening here in this fight, he's not really got anything to defend against the great Luckyashman with his Grenadier troopers. Replete holding this area strong, and Unholy just doing nothing. Just nothing. Nothing at all. And that trade's really going now. Here come the Jedis. Very late to the party. Start to convert some units now, causing mayhem. And as that count grows, I'll be able to convert more and more, and then Balam will definitely win these trades. I think they could even just go into pure combat here and move the units up, and it would be fine. They do a decent amount of damage to these units, have a decent health pool. They don't need to just sit and convert. Push with those, push with this, kill that, convert. Big AC shot going to be going on. Any second now, any minute. There we go. Oh yeah, perfect. Could have shot the Mounties, but no, let's just... Lots of damage. 486 damage to that mech faction. Wowzers. Will you be joining in today, Unholy? No? Okay. I'll check in later. Luckyashman continuing his push in here. Some units from Replete, advanced turret. I think they're starting to mine out. No, it's just there's still a lot of carbon over here. So these boys are jobless. Unemployment gang over here. Jedi count getting stronger and stronger. It's gonna eventually be too impactful because these armies are such small counts, small skirmishes. If there's a 1-to-1 ratio Jedi to your own units, you're fucked. There's no other outcome there. Luckyashman, again, huge pressure on here because he's now threatening the trade that they wanted to set up, and this is where a lot of their carbon income is going to be coming from soon. Because Unholy's sort of eating out his corner. Replete's munched a lot around his base. There's only some forward facing bits. Most of the juicy carbon's over here in the corner. So tentative, Balam and Rob. They could just smash this so easily and win the game. Giving Replete way too much benefit of the doubt here. Oh. 1 hour 12 geo. Killing workers. The mighty Luckyashman. Been a real showcase of what Luckyashman's capable of. Today Kicks learned to respect the Ashman. Replete asking for GG here, as they have started to smash down the forward. I'm only saying wait because, oh my god, why do these armies move at these fucking paces? Cross map is, it should be over here. In fact, I don't know why he's building assault mechs actually with the Jedi. That's a bad time. I guess he'll one day get over that. He must not have any of the upgrades for speed, right? There's no way those units are that fucking slow. No. No. We could have 20% move speed, you know? It's painful to watch. It makes me feel like I've got the game on a slower setting. But I don't. Maybe yeah, that looks a bit better. Shocking. Forward's definitely dead now. And with that, all this pressure is going to come into Unholy space now. Jedi coming over here and converting. He's going to quit at that. He won't handle that. This guy's finally getting over here. Not really much to deal with here. Whinging about Jedi's, can't be building assault mechs here. No bounty hunters, no sentry posts or anything. All the strike mechs are over here, walking at a snail's pace. Told you he was going them an hour ago. Yup. It's over, they say. So I think just going through the motions before they all GG out. Because they've just not respected this Jedi threat, they got nothing for it. They've not respected Luckyashman, and they've been punished on this side for it as well. And I think Replete could have really done a lot of damage if he kept that initial push and linked up with his forward. Because he just gave them time to set up a defense for it. So a bit sad. That's the way it goes. Did they even say GG or they just quit? Yeah, okay. Okay, Ashman said GG, but yeah, they just quit. No GGs. Salty about Jedi or something? It's not really that much of a cheese unit. The only cheese unit is the A-Wing. And air. Fuck air. Fuck T4 air. That's just like 6 minutes of Unholy playing with his army. Meh. Look at all the traders though. Not much hope for that team, I don't think. Right, I'm gonna call it. I don't want to watch him roleplay his army for 5 minutes before he quits. So I'll go for the achievement screen. We'll have a look. Don't think anyone got any of the holocrons, they've just been sitting there all game. Could have been tons and tons of free Nova income. Balam with a huge work account. Luckyashman with all the tech. All the food and carbon for Replete. And the largest army goes to Unholy. Slowly marching across the map. So, that's the end of this. If you liked that, leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, yada yada. If you look in the description, you'll find a link to Voobly, where you can play this game online. That's what you can see in the background here, and you'll find a link to the GBG Discord, where people can come, congregate, and organise games amongst themselves. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.